And welcome to San Diego, Qualcomm Stadium. They're on their feet. The rivalry continues. The Raiders and the Chargers in the AFC West. And this game brought to you in high definition here on CBS. Dick ENBERG with Randy Cross, and a look at the AFC Western standings. Oakland 2-2, the leader coming into Sunday play. Kansas City is about to win and would move into a tie. Denver and San Diego at 2-3. Very contentious AFC West. There's no division with numbers quite like that one. Norv Turner, first year in the colors of the San Diego Chargers, former head coach of the Raiders. He was with Al Davis's team up north for a couple of years. And 32 years young, Lane Kiffin, son of Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lost the first 2 games, won the next 2. Sebastian Janikowski leads the NFL in touchbacks, and he has another. That's his 13th of the season. Into the arms of Darren Sproles, and here come the blue jersey, their new blues. These are the modern not the throwback blue jerseys, but fans are so fond of. Philip Rivers taking the field with a 9-1 regular season record as a starter here at Qualcomm Stadium. The offensive line, one of the reasons the Chargers often run to the left side, is the guard on that side, Chris Steelman. And pick your poison offensively. Do you stop LaDainian Tomlinson or tight end Antonio Gates? Gates is second in the NFL with 40 catches. And he's lined up on the left side. No, now on the right side as Rivers will throw first down. Into the flat, incomplete to the fullback, Lorenzo Neal. Let's check the white jerseyed Oakland Raider defense. The Raiders are tough against the pass, but they've been too generous against the run. Tommy Kelly moves inside today to replace the injured Gerard Warren at tackle. Nnamdi Asomugha will single up often on the outside. He had 8 interceptions a year ago. 2nd and 10. Rivers up the middle to LaDainian Tomlinson. Manages only 3. And into the arms of Jay Richardson, the rookie from Ohio State. Richardson starts today because of the injury, Gerard Warren.
And the main challenge right now for the Chargers right away on this 3rd down, Dick, 3rd and about 8 yards, is keep this pocket clean for Philip Rivers. Give him some confidence stepping into the throws. And if you're the Raiders, whatever you do, cover 85. Get somebody on Antonio Gates.
Gates, and they'll move him around, sometimes split him wide. This time he's just off the line on the right side. 3rd down, 7, Rivers shotgun. Good protection down the middle, complete. Malcolm Floyd, and Floyd with the first down at the 37. Stuart Schweigert, the safety, made the tackle. Floyd, a good target at 6'5" and 225.
Well, just as ordered, this offensive line does a nice job of giving Philip Rivers somewhere to step up into. You look at the pocket, that is a pocket. That's why they call it that. And he can just step right into the gap in between and deliver that ball perfectly on time. When he's getting that kind of protection, as do most quarterbacks, they thrive.
16 yards on the catch. Floyd's 6th of the season. LaDainian Tomlinson struggles, but able to maintain his balance enough to cross the 45-yard line. And a good gain on first down for the Chargers of nearly 7.
Look at the middle of the defense right here with Harwick's, the center, is lined up. Does a very nice job just getting his hands underneath the defensive tackle, Sands, turning him out of the way and opening up that huge hole in the middle of the Raiders defense. If your center can get that kind of control on a defensive tackle, you'll run the ball effectively all day long.
2nd and short from the 46. Back to LT. They love to run left, and here goes Tomlinson, and finally Schweigert bumps him out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Tomlinson has had some of his biggest games against the Raiders. In fact, he's averaged 120 yards rushing in 12 games against Oakland.
And when in doubt for the Chargers, go left. Go back to basics. What you do is go left really well. You follow Lorenzo Neal. You go to the same side as Brandon Malauna. You get behind Chris Steelman and McNeil, and you pound the ball. That's what this team does best, is go back to basics and go left.
Randy's cross talk as LT lines up At tailback behind Neal. Back to Tomlinson. They're trying to tackle the ball. 27-yard line. And here now is Randy with that crosstalk.
Just a couple things in that big win and really getting some confidence and momentum back in that big win against Denver. Just running the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Chargers have been successful with their first possession. As you can see, third best in the NFL with 17 points. Rivers wide open in the flat is Neal, but he is toppled with a good low hit by Nnamdi Asomugha. And Neal looks at Asomugha as if to say, hey, not a bad hit. I'll be coming back. Neal, does a man love contact more than this big blocking back? And an injured player on the field is the center, Nick Hardwick, for the Chargers.
But you throw him one little bone out there in the flat. Yeah, let him catch a pass. Let him get some action in early. He'll lead.
They've responded the ball at the 23-yard line, so that'll make it 3rd down and 2.
The way Hardwick is moving, Dick, I don't know how soon he's going to be back, so this might be a while.
Yeah, it's a critical spot because Hardwick calls off the blocking schemes for that offensive line. Well, he's got Rivers in a shotgun with Tomlinson into the right flat. Throws underneath. Wide open is the rookie, Davis, and Davis is to the 4. Fabian Washington saved the touchdown. Buster Davis, the rookie from LSU.
Yeah, that was another great pocket and somewhere for Rivers to step up. And that tells you that young Withrow at center does an excellent job. First, he snaps the ball well. Look at Rivers, no one around him, barely touched, and just puts a laser on Davis. You love that little wiggle, the little move that he puts right there on Huff, the safety.
They spot knee down at the 5, 1st and goal. Of course, all eyes on LT when they get inside that 10. And he runs left and doesn't get much. Burrows for about 1.5 yards.
That was a little bit of a key breaker because you see Lorenzo Neal in the backfield at fullback. You look at the right tight end is Brandon Malamauna, and usually that's where they run. They ran that one at Gates, and that also gives Gates a lot of confidence. Antonio Gates is the first one to tell you that he doesn't mind getting in there and mixing it up. He's very proud of the fact that he's able to block like a tight end. He's not really a tight end.
He's a playmaker, as he told us.
That's right, or the prime minister, I guess, as you refer to him as.
Yeah,
right,
the
Dick?
PM. Playmaker, prime minister. 2nd and goal, just inside the 3. Tomlinson, the lone back, and Rivers the throw into the flat. Incomplete, intended for Gates. And the Chargers looking for a defensive call, but Michael Huff made a good play for the Raiders.
That was an excellent throw by Phillip Rivers. He put this ball only where his player could get it. And Antonio Gates, though, at the very last, it doesn't look like a face mask, but it was extremely tight coverage. Very aggressive coverage by Huff, who got a hand on that ball and tipped it before Gates could ever get his hand on it.
Gates off to a sensational start, averaging 8 catches a game. Here it is, 3rd and goal. Chargers all season have thrown more passes in goal to goal than runs. Here's LT diving over the top. Did he get in? Yes, touchdown the call. LT having trouble holding on to the ball, but he had crossed, or at least had penetrated that goal line. That's all he has to do.
Well, he might not have a great grip on that ball, Dick, but he sure had a lot of altitude. Look at the way he reaches over with that ball and gets it and breaks the plane. I mean, that's 4 or 5 feet off the ground.
That Australian rules play.
They get extra points for that one.
And he knew right where that goal line was. And so does Kading know the uprights as he knocks through the extra point. So LaDainian Tomlinson, who set the all-time NFL mark in touchdowns rushing a year ago and total touchdowns with 31, 20 of those rushing, has his 3rd of this new season. And the San Diego Chargers on their opening possession take a 7-0 lead. And we welcome those of you fans who have just seen Kansas City defeat Cincinnati 27-20. to the excitement at Qualcomm Stadium, at least for Charger fans, as San Diego took the opening kickoff 80 yards, marched it down to a touchdown scored by LaDainian Tomlinson, and now the kickoff to Chris Carr of the Oakland Raiders, and Carr takes it back to the 30-yard line. And so those of you who have just joined us here in the AFC West, here's the score. 80 yards in 11 plays. There was a 23-yard LaDainian Tomlinson run, a couple of passes, 16 yards to Floyd, 18 yards to the rookie Buster Davis on the drive engineered by Philip Rivers. And now the Oakland Raiders, after an 0-2 start, 2 wins, and at the beginning of play today, it was the Raiders alone atop the AFC West. Lamont Jordan, there was some question whether he would be able to play. He is starting today with 424 yards, 6th best in the league. Culpepper has it batted down at the line of scrimmage. Igor Olshansky, the 6'6" defensive end from Oregon, got a hand on it. Dante Culpepper, a late waiver pickup by the Raiders, has brought size and stature to an offense that won just 2 games a year ago. The rebuilt offensive line fortified by former San Francisco center Jeremy Newberry. And back in the starting lineup, Lamont Jordan out with a back injury. Many thought that he wouldn't play. Fargas was supposed to start. Culpepper into the flat, and the immediate hit of Johnny Lee Higgins as Drayton Florence, the corner for the touchdown. Culpepper wisely spends a timeout. 8:26 to go. Opening quarter. Temperature down to 70 degrees under clear skies. A perfect day. We had a little sprinkle of rain yesterday. Very unusual. Much needed in the West. 3rd down and a dozen for the Raiders from their own 28.
7 in coverage, only 4 rushing.
Culpepper with plenty of time and fires. Intercepted or not? Florence down low to try to dig it out. It was intended for Jerry Porter. It is. An interception, the first of the season by a Charger cornerback. Played that like an outfielder, scooping it off the grass.
Well, that one there is all about the guys dropping back in coverage, Dick, because they get not enough rush, and then Dante Culpepper tries to throw just an errant throw. He's got a receiver in the general area. Jordan's somewhere near the ball, but Drayton Florence plays receiver and gets his hands under the ball and snatches that thing just off the ground, almost off the top of the blades of the grass, it looked like.
Florence, who played at Tuskegee, is now in his 5th season with San Diego, his 9th interception from the 39. LT smothered as he draws the crowd. Robert Thomas starting today for the injured Sam Williams at linebacker made the stop. So Kansas City with a win just moments ago at home against Cincinnati, currently tied with the Raiders, and Denver and San Diego at 2 and 3. It's the bye week for the Broncos. They licked their wounds after a 41-3 defeat, the worst in many decades up in Denver. No gain on 1st down. Philip Rivers, pump fake, goes to the sideline, complete. It's Buster Davis, the rookie from LSU, the #1 draft pick of the Chargers. That's his 2nd catch in this opening quarter, and a 1st down with it. And he beat a very tough corner in Nnamdi Asamoah.
Well, he drove Asamoah really well off the ball and gave himself that cushion for Rivers to hit him. On the other side of the play, Dick, Gates was down at the bottom of the screen, man on man in a bump and run situation with Huff, the safety. That's a matchup that Rivers will take all day long.
That's an interesting series note. In their 95th meeting, San Diego has won 7 in a row. They've never enjoyed that kind of success against the Raiders going all the way to 1960. And here's LaDainian Tomlinson, and he is in the end zone. 2 touchdowns for LT. It's as if you show him silver and black, and his adrenaline pumps in. How does he play against the Raiders?
Nice job by Goff in the backside, sealing things off. That was excellent. He and Olivier both on that backside just washed that defense down and set things up for LT. Excellent job.
Extra point by Nate Kading. It's 14-0 as the interception by Florence leads to a 27-yard touchdown run by LaDainian Tomlinson. He had 2 in the first 5 games. Frustrated, but 2 quickly here this afternoon. Qualcomm Stadium, 14-0 early lead for the Chargers. John Riggins and LaDainian Tomlinson now share the number 5 spot all time in rushing scores. Culpepper's interception, off-mark throw at Florence, scooped off the grass, leads to a quick second score for San Diego, and this ball kicking out of bounds will place the Raiders in excellent field position as the out of bounds call takes it out to the 40-yard line. Meanwhile, LT playing like the Tomlinson that the Charger fans cheered throughout a record-setting season a year ago, but highly frustrated at the start of this year. Not today.
Welcome back to San Diego, where the Chargers lead 14-0. And Dick Enberg, partner, you had a day yesterday or day before yesterday where you had yet another great honor in your illustrious career. On Friday, you returned to your alma mater, Central Michigan University, where they officially...
Armada High School, they got me ready for Central Michigan. That's right, 3rd out of 33. Well, the score here is 14-0, and the pass is complete to Ronald Curry, the former point guard at North Carolina, who had never played wide receiver. High school, junior high school, college, until the NFL when he was a 7th-round pick by the Raiders, and they said, we got to find a spot for this guy, just too talented an athlete.
I've got to go back to your days at Central Michigan or in high school real quick again. Is it true you borrowed the blazer for your high school photo?
I did not own a sport coat, so in order to get my high school picture taken, yes, a buddy of mine was nice enough to loan me his. Hand off inside to Jordan, and flags fly as the big man at 230 pounds is dragged down by Olshansky and company.
That might be inside on Grove working against big Jamal Williams.
Two-time Pro Bowler Jeremy Newberry, who has migrated across the bay from the 49ers.
It's a great challenge for Newberry, and he's a horse and a half. One of the tougher guys in the league, but Jamal Williams plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and to control him, Jeremy had to get a little bit too much jersey. It wasn't the front of the jersey, though. It was the back numbers that he got caught for grabbing.
So back to the 40-yard line. And a quick throw to Zach Miller, the second-round draft pick of the Raiders at tight end out of Arizona State, incomplete. But let's go to New York and JB.
Hey, Dick and Rand.
Oh, my. The Patriots are playing as if they invented the game.
Surgically. They are just executing surgically.
And that first possession, time and time again, they get points. Quick throw out to Curry, and Curry races to the sidelines, well short of the first down. Quentin Jammer at the left corner, able to move him out of bounds.
You know, Dick, in those initial crosstalk points, when I said pass, Dante, pass, it was pretty much with the idea that, yeah, you're the #1 running team. You would best be able to still run the ball. I didn't mean you had to throw every down. If they throw this much and Lane Kiffin stays this committed to the run, it's got to be with the idea of the short passing game, spreading this defense out some, which will enable them down the road to get some running space.
So far, no runs called, 6 passes. And this certainly a passing down 3rd and 14. Culpepper shotgun. Screen to Jordan. To the 50, 45, flag down, bumped out of bounds at the 40. That's right at the yardsticks as Antonio Cromartie, but does it count?
It's going to be some sort of a low block, maybe a little clip against Robert Gallery, the guard who was out on the screen. He just sort of clips the very back of the heels,
Referee today,
I believe, of Jacques Césaire.
Ron Winter. Gallery, who was the second player selected in the 04 draft, immediately behind Eli Manning, And they tried him at left tackle, right tackle, and now they've moved him to left guard. Perhaps that's a spot he should have taken right off the bat.
That's a lot of money. You think you could afford a haircut?
Yeah, that keeps you warm out there on that 650-acre farm in Winthrop, Iowa. Ball marked all the way to the 33-yard line. Jordan would have just made a first down with some hard running on the screen, but the penalty brings up 3rd and 27. Justin Fargas now the running back. Did they get it off in time?
Nope. That's a delay.
Lots of noise here at Qualcomm today. These fans get themselves up for the Raiders.
If you like 3rd and 27, you're going to be nuts about 3rd and 32. He's got to remain calm and not get hyperventilated or not get too excited, because this game can get away from them really, really fast.
And he has the best punter in the league, Shane Leckler. Nothing wrong, just get a few yards. Can't even do that. Thrown down by Luis Castillo, the defensive end. Charged through almost untouched. Castillo.
There's no almost. I don't think he did.
42, 30 yards and penalties and only 6 yards of offense for the Raiders here in the opening quarter. And here's Shane Leckler leading the league, 49.3 average. Darren Sproles back. Did he ever root that one out, and bobbles the ball? And will pay the price, or will he? He does get back about 5 yards to the 25-yard line. It all began in 1960. The rival, the Chargers have leaped to an early 14-0 lead against their rivals from the Bay, the Oakland Raiders. And the Chargers start from the 26 after a 62-yard Leckler punt. LaDainian Tomlinson off that left side, where the Chargers like to run so often, nearly 80% of the time, gets a few yards. And the way this has started, the offenses belong to the men in the bolted helmets.
Well, the Oakland Raiders, 8 plays, all 8 passes. And that is not the way to stay true to yourself, if you will, as far as what has got them to 2-2, what has got them 2 wins in a row. Miami, they were an absolute almost wishbone offense a couple weeks ago, and now it's Air Kiffin.
Now the Raiders number 1 in the league in rushing, and in rushing average 5-3. Rivers throws wide open as Gates, the big tight end, and he's finally wrestled out of bounds near midfield. Michael Huff.
That's that matchup I was talking about. You get the tight end out there. The Oakland Raiders defense responds with a safety, Huff, and now Rivers throws to the backside shoulder. That's part of that chemistry between a quarterback and a receiver. It really shows you the growth and how Antonio Gates is starting to get better, and it's scary for defenses to think about that, but he's nowhere near tapped his capabilities and his potential.
And Gates, who was an outstanding basketball player of Kent State, and he uses that body so well, as he did as a short man, but a big, powerful man around the basket in the collegiate game. The handoff is to Davis on the flanker reverse, and it doesn't do much at all as Asamoah pushes him out of bounds for a loss. Well, last week against Denver, Antonio Gates showed his talent against Denver's all-pro cornerback Champ Bailey early for this 23-yard reception.
You get a Champ Bailey who is such a great student of the game and a technician, and you make him spin in the ground like that, you're starting to become, well, you're not a tight end. He's never really been a tight end, and he's not a wide receiver. It's like you have to create a different category for him. I mean, you list him in the program. List Monomaluna as a starting tight end. He's a receiver.
Here he is, wide out, bottom of your screen. And then they run Tomlinson the other way, not for much at all on 2nd and 11.
Well, you notice who they manned him up with this time. It wasn't Huff, it was Asamoah.
Jay Robinson, the Ohio State rookie, makes the tackle.
And you talked about the playmaker, besides the name, you know, the PM, whatever, the prime minister, as you referred to him as. His numbers are so impressive, and he's off to one of the best starts that a tight end has ever had in this league in the first 6 games. And Gonzalez's tight end records are definitely going to be threatened by this guy soon.
Anthony Gonzalez has the tight end touchdown record, 2 today and 64 in his career. Rivers 3rd and 10. Flips it out to Tomlinson. gets away from one, but not the other, as Stanford rout was the second wave of defense, and he drops Tomlinson well short of a first down.
How nice is that, though, Dick? I mean, so often we see these shoelace attempts and people grabbing. Look in the definition of a formed tackle. See Mr. Rout's application. Hit, accelerate the feet, wrap the arms, perfect tackle.
Line of scrimmage the 50, and Mike Cypher's component. He's averaging just under 45 a kick. Chris Carr, the deep man, just inside the 10 for the Raiders. Very short as he uses that reverse spin kick, and that's going to, no, it does take a Charger bounce. That was not his intent. He was trying to get it to kick back like a good wedge. Instead, he got the kind roll to the 11-yard line. Dante Culp. The Raider defense had allowed just 7 points in the first quarter throughout the first 4 games, but 14 today, and harassed by penalties on their last possession. On first down from the 11 and hit in the backfield as Lamont Jordan got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Well, you can get the latest scores, stats, breaking news from around the league with live scoring game centers online right now at CBSSports.com. Final seconds of this opening quarter, and Lane Kiffin, as others on that Raider sideline, standing with a somewhat of an appreciation, however, of the power of LaDainian Tomlinson, a 72-yard rushing quarter and a couple of touchdowns for the Chargers star. And Jordan again weaving his way to the 20, well, make it the 14-yard line. Matt Wilhelm returning to play one of those linebacker spots. He calls the defensive signals, a key for San Diego. End of the quarter, 14-0 Chargers. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Bob Monsbach, our director Suzanne Smith, Dick Enberg, Randy Cross. Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego on a beautiful 70-degree day, and the Chargers dominating that opening quarter. 143-9. Raiders picking up just 1 first down. 3rd down and 7 as we open the second period. Dante Culpepper, the quick throw over the middle, incomplete. Well covered by San Diego. Intended for Ronald Curry. Clinton Hart from the backside, and a diving Stephen Cooper there to make it very tough to connect for Culpepper.
And they brought the backup safety Weddle, number 32, in there on a blitz too. And there is nowhere, there are no windows. This looks like the side of a jail. There are no windows in this defense for Dante to throw the ball into.
Yeah, the daylight's there, but there's no way to really get any inhalation, huh? Here's Leckler, and watch him. He's going to kick this ball from around the 5. Let's see how far he gets it away. Oh, this one is a wobbler, a rare kind of kick for him, and almost hit a Charger downfield. It kicks out of bounds at the 47-yard line, San Diego territory. Leckler had a 62-yarder earlier. He leads the league in punting. Stan Fouts, Lance Allworth also honored with his number retired. First down at the 47. Tomlinson, the running back behind Phillip Rivers, he gets the call and is tripped up after a yard. Well, there's some big doings down in Dallas. Let's get an update from JB. Thanks, JB. And of course, Welker was selected as a free agent by the Chargers out of Texas Tech, and they couldn't keep him on the roster. Went to Miami where he showed his talent, and now he's prancing with the Patriots. Flip out to Malcolm Floyd. Good cutback by the rangy receiver, and he's close to a first down at the Raider 44. Fabian Washington defending.
You know, much as we've seen in this game, you get some mismatches. You know, our pregame guys in the NFL today were all over those matchups in the Dallas-New England game, and that Dallas doesn't have the talent to stay with the New England receivers, and that there'd be problems down the field. Similar here, where you get Antonio Gates, we're seeing Floyd, we're seeing Jackson. They've got the talent, big, strong, physical talent at receiver that's really giving these smaller defensive backs for Oakland some serious problems.
On 3rd and 1, Michael Turner replaces LT at tailback, and there's flags flying. Contact made. Was it offside, or was Kirk Morrison drawn offside? On a false start, they'll sort that out.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd
Manu Maliuna, the tight end.
And the tight end package comes out, and the receiver package, and
3rd down and 6 at the Raider 49.
No one challenging Gates there in the slot in the top of the screen.
Rivers underneath into a crowd, complete. And 3 Raiders trying to pull it away from Vincent Jackson. As that's right at the yardstick.
I think it's right on the line. You have to get to the 43 for the first down, and appears they're marking the ball just about at the 44, just inside the 44.
Norv Turner in his first year here with San Diego after beating the Bears 3 straight losses in their last game against Kansas City at home. Snapped a 9-game winning streak in the regular season, and fans very unhappy at the results of the Chiefs win. They were chanting Marty, 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 and booing the team. And then that huge win at Denver, 41-3 last week, and everything was much brighter at the Charger camp.
But they had more people contributing. He brought up a good point yesterday when we talked to him, Dick, that 6 guys can't carry the other 5. It's got to be about all 11 on both sides of the ball, and he's absolutely right. Even when you have the great stars like the Gates and the Tomlinsons and whatnot.
Fans don't like this call as Turner has sent out the punting team on 4th and foot at the Raider 43. And of course Turner thinking, I've got an early 14-0 lead. Why fail on this short yardage and give the Raiders beautiful field position? They'd rather pin them deep.
And these fans sitting here go, we know Lorenzo Neal's there. We know we got Chris Dillman. Let's just go for it.
Chris Carr, the deep man. And Cyphers sends that end over in wobbler. That Carr wisely comes up to cut off at the 18-yard line. So Raiders ball when we come back. 12:29 remaining in the second quarter. There you go. 12:29 remaining in this first half. The Raiders trying to generate some offense at the 18.
How about a first down?
11 plays, 9 total yards thus far for Oakland. Oh, they barely got the handoff, and then Jordan is smothered for a yard loss. That was Sean Merriman shooting into the backfield of Oakland. Next Saturday, Home Depot SEC on CBS. Football fun yesterday. Well, maybe not if you're an LSU fan.
The game.
Throw into the flat is complete, but short yardage to Jerry Porter. And we have another update in New York. Let's go to James Brown.
Hey, Dick and Randy in the...
Yeah, isn't it amazing, Randy, when you get some blocking guys like Etcher and James can really gain some yards for you.
What a difference bringing Russ Grimm in there has made for Ken Wisenhunt in that offense.
Meanwhile, these fans trying to spur the Charger defense to again shackle the Raider attempt for a first down. Almost an offside. Culpepper fumbles the ball. He threw it out of his own hand. It's covered by the Raiders, and a flag is down. We'll see whether that is the call against Merriman jumping offside.
Could be a little illegal contact down the field, too, against the Chargers defense, given where the flag is.
Yeah, there are 2 flags. One is thrown by the linesman and one by the back judge. Cornell Green, the right tackle, covered Culpepper's fumble.
There is no foul for illegal contact as the quarterback was out of the pocket. Defense. Offside, number 56 in the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Now Merriman charged offside. No contact. Got back onside, but they still called the offside
They
call.
called it he was offside. So he was still hanging over the edge even when he kind of hopped back. And there was no illegal contact down the field that was originally flagged for it because Culpepper had briefly escaped that pocket before he dropped it. And when you're out of the pocket, the illegal contact does not apply.
3rd and 2 this time. 3rd and 21 is a little tougher, isn't it? Well, Culpepper escaped a real tragedy there. And now rolls and steps back and throws over the middle complete. It's to Mike Williams, who had stardom written all over him as a sophomore at Southern California. Remember, he was the young guy, tried to go to the NFL. They wouldn't let him in after his sophomore year. Had to sit out some 19 months and then was drafted in the first round by the Lions.
He's a great big target. Hasn't showed the true wide receiver speed at this level, but he was just what Dante Culpepper needed He was getting to the desperate point with that pass rush closing in on him. I mean, he needed an easy target.
First down for the Raiders, much needed for them. Now they have field position at the 40, and it's Lamont Jordan trying the left side. He gets 3, maybe 4 before Jamal Williams, the Pro Bowler the last 2 years for San Diego at that nose tackle, makes the play.
Jamal Williams is just something, the way he can cover so much ground and just clog a defense up. This is last week. Lamont Jordan injured his back, just had his back retweaked. A lot of questions as to whether he wouldn't even go. He came out to work out early this morning, was good enough to get out there and try it.
That's good news for the Raiders that he is able to play today. Justin Fargas, who replaced him last game, is now in. Quick throw to the side to Curry, and Curry is hit immediately. Sean Phillips all over that play defensively.
Well, that's the thing about this defense. You are really not well served trying to be quicker and cuter than them sideways. You're much better off to go at them, sort of that spilling technique between your tackles and the tight ends in that area. Jamal Williams will steal the area for Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator. Ted knows that that guy is going to clog the middle. You've got to try to run over your tackles just out the outside the C gap.
3rd and 5. Culpepper looks for some options, and time runs out. And Sean Merriman has his 4th sack of the year, and the lights out celebration.
Well, Sean Merriman should share that one with his other defensive linemen and with all the coverage. Barry Sims does a pretty nice little job. He crosses Gallery's face, and Gallery lets him go. And because of the coverage, Culpepper's still there holding the ball. But you can't do that. You've got to get rid of the ball. That puts your offense in such bad positions.
Merriman, who led the NFL with 17 sacks a season ago. Darren Sproles, who bobbled the last punt, waiting for Leckler's kick. And it's a fake. And Leckler doesn't make it. Tackled at the 36. Chargers take over on downs. And the play was made by Marcus Harris, the backup defensive end.
Nice flip and nice so-called fake. I don't know what Leckler thinks maybe it's going to be blocked. This can't be a play from the side. He had to call this as himself, and that was a bad decision.
Especially Raider fans confused by the play by Leckler. Was it a pass at high school? Leckler was a brilliant quarterback at Sealy, Texas, had over 5,000 career yards passing. But whether he took that on his own or a call play, it didn't work, and the Chargers take over on downs at the Raider 36-yard line. Let's go back to that 4th down and Leckler.
I guess you could look at this right here where Schweigert looks like he's almost coming this way on some sort of a shovel pass, but he never turns his head. I really think this is just Leckler thought he had a shot and he took it. I don't know how many yards he passed for, Dick. He said over 5,000. Does it say there how many he ran for? Because he didn't run far with that one.
No, that didn't come close, did it? So the Chargers with a break at 2nd down and 8, leading 14-0, midpoint of the 2nd quarter. Tomlinson, the star so far, 74 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Fake to him. And the throw to the sidelines, and it is incomplete. Vincent Jackson had his hands on it, but good defense. Fabian Washington ripping it away.
You've got to be part cornerback, part power forward to play against these receivers for the Chargers, because they will get in there and body you. Jackson's no exception. He's a good-sized guy, but look at the nice job that Fabian Washington does, not only with body position, but also arm positioning, having that inside hand free to slap that one around while he was battling with his left hand on the inside.
Raiders have 3 immensely talented corners, Asamoah, Rout, and Washington, all young.
And homegrown. They drafted him.
On 3rd down, Rivers throws in, intercepted, and that's going to be a touchdown. It's Thomas Howard, the linebacker, his 4th interception of the year and his 2nd touchdown. Oh, my. And what was Phillip Rivers thinking there?
He wasn't. That's the problem. This is his 5th career start at home against a divisional rival. That's his 6th interception against only 2 touchdown passes. Rob Ryan's defense took perfect opportunity in hand. That's Howard's 4th interception. These linebackers are intercepting the ball like crazy.
Does the Deion Sanders prance into the end zone, and the man for whom the pass was intended wasn't even looking for the ball. The only one that was eyeballing it was Howard. And here's Janikowski's try for point. And on the interception return for a score, the Raiders are right back in the game.
Dick, if your quarterback's never supposed to throw across the body inside the field, what's the rule say about across your body on the other side of the field?
Thomas Howard with his 2nd score this young season. Back in San Diego, where the Charger fans stunned by Thomas Howard's 66-yard interception return for a touchdown. Here's Janikowski, just lobs one short down to the 26-yard line, where it's taken by Brandon Manumaliuna, the tight end, to the 32-yard line.
Here's Howard. Here's Jackson, the intended receiver. Then you're going to have the ball come out from Rivers over here, and it's just a gimme. It's a throwback. It's kind of a half panic mode. I know he's trying to make something happen, trying to avoid the sack and get it off, but Jackson never turns around for the ball. I mean, he was running that crossing pattern, but in his mind, he definitely was not a receiver.
And if you fans are unfamiliar with Thomas Howard, is he that fast? Yes, he is. He's faster than most wide receivers. He's a 4-4 linebacker. So the Chargers' big lead now down to 14-7, and LT Tomlinson able to rip off a gain of almost 15 on 1st down. What else is happening, James Brown?
Hey, Dick and Ross.
Almost concurrently, 2 defensive touchdowns, one in Irving, Texas, and the other here in San Diego. Michael Turner, now the running back for San Diego, on 1st down, and Turner runs into the pile and is brought down just shy of the 50-yard line. Gain of a couple. Turner had his best ever game, now in his 4th season, Northern Illinois. Last week in Denver, 147 yards on just 10 carries. His career average is over 6, and he's a free agent next year.
Cha-ching would be the noise he'll hear the most often come late February. He's going to be a heck of a sought-after product when it comes time for free agency next year.
There have been offers. A.J. Smith, the general manager here, to trade for Turner. Smith has insisted on a #1 pick, and no one able to dig that deeply into the flat, complete to Tomlinson. Uses that straight arm as he's bumped out of bounds at the 50 by Fabian Washington. That'll bring up 3rd and about 7.
When you're dealing with this offense, and I know Phillip Rivers just made that kind of mental mistake on that play that was intercepted by Thomas Howard for the touchdown, but I would get the most nervous as I was Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, when they start going sideways. Because when they start going sideways with a passing game, you know there's something deep down the field coming behind it.
Rivers with 2 men in the backfield with him and double tight ends. Has to scramble and just does get it away incomplete. Maliuna, the tight end, was the target, and Rivers almost had that one picked out of his hand from the backside.
Well, it was a nice job coming from the backside. I believe it was Warren Sapp and Derek Burgess putting on the pressure. Sapp was getting held inside.
Ooh.
And he comes down and puts a little late hit on him right after Burgess sets him up.
Rivers got it from both sides there. He's fortunate to get off the field 100%. Rob Ryan.
He's fired up, isn't he?
You bet. The good genes in his defensive background. Chris Carr waits for Cypher's punt. Fair catches at about the 14-yard line. Well, a reminder, best friends share a lot, but what happened? Well, a young Lane Kiffin, Monty Lane Kiffin, 32 years of age, went to Fresno State, was a quarterback there, and his roommate is on the San Diego sidelines in uniform, number 7, Billy Volek. First down, Jordan finds some running room here and finally tackled forward by Sean Phillips. There's Volek, number 7, who came here to San Diego a year ago from the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin said that he studied coaches. He and his dad recommended recommendations from his coaches, and Jeff Tedford was there as the quarterback coach and coordinator under Jim Sweeney. He figured it'd be a great place to go learn football.
Tedford, the current coach at the University of California, and that shows you what high regard Tedford has earned throughout football. And his dad down in Tampa Bay said it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to go up and see what that fellow's teaching.
Well, the natural question is too, because Lane went to high school in the Minneapolis area up in Minnesota, so it's not like it's a natural connection and pipeline from Minnesota to Fresno State. And it was all about football, as that family really has always been.
Here's Jordan again, powering right up the middle into the arms of Jamal Williams. Kiffin, not only his dad, the outstanding defensive coordinator in Tampa Bay for so many years, but then he tutored under Pete Carroll, of course, for several seasons. University of Southern California, winning a couple of national championships. And he can go home and talk football to his wife as well. She was the special events director with the Tampa Bay Bucks, wife Layla, and her father, John Reeves, All-America quarterback of the University of Florida, and #1 draft pick in his day. So plenty of football in that Kiffin family. On 2nd and 6. That's Justin Fargas. He's got the speed and the power as Jordan. First down, makes it around the corner. Drayton Florence, the tackler.
Well, this is their real first drive of the day. I know they have 7 points on the board, but it had nothing to do with the offense. It's been pure frustration. That -22 was when they started on the 40-yard line and just did nothing but back up. But this has been about the run. The reason they're being successful right now is they're being able to run the ball.
Fargas, who had 172 yards in the second half at Miami in the Raiders' last game, shows you how he gets some of those. Good speed wide. Here he is again, and able to fight his way forward for about 3 on that carry. He played at Southern Cal 1 year after transferring from Michigan, and Pete Carroll was his coach with the Trojans.
Dick, you hear about the zone blocking scheme. Watch Cornell Green on the backside get a quick cut block. Defensive linemen hate that, but that opens up the backside. That creates a soft spot. That's why that play can get any yards, because you get a defensive player down on the ground.
And we've approached the 2-minute warning in this first half. 7-point lead, San Diego. 2 minutes to go in the half. There's a look at the offenses today, with the Chargers dominating 177-47. And the Raiders, leading the NFL in rushing coming in, have gained only 28 yards on the ground and 10 carries, 2.8, 5.3 their average in the first 4 games. 2nd and 7. Jordan, the running back. Culpepper caught from behind and drops the ball. Is it a free? No, they're going to call it a incomplete pass.
Got a flag down there in the defensive backfield. Again, usually in that illegal contact or holding area coverage-wise. Merriman was working against the rookie, Zach Miller, the tight end. They were trying to block him with a tight end. That's not a good idea.
And he was the man all over the quarterback, Culpepper. Now the penalty announcement.
Remember, Culpepper hadn't escaped the pocket, so he was still in the pocket.
Well, the quarterback was in the pocket. Illegal contact. Defense number 57. A 5-yard penalty. And a first down.
And there are 1,000 of Raider fans here at Qualcomm Stadium cheer that call. A first down with it, out to the 44-yard line.
Well, you dodged one guaranteed, though, trying to block Miller on Sean Merriman. You want to avoid that at all costs. Here it is, top of the screen. And there's nobody in the Pac-10. There's no 2 guys in the Pac-10 that could simulate that.
Culpepper shotgun. And they has to call time as he wanted the ball, didn't get the snap. And so that is the 2nd timeout used by the Raiders. The scores and highlights of this Sunday in the National Football League. All in the Sprint halftime report. Raiders first down at their own 44, trailing by a touchdown. 1:54 left. Opening half. Fake to Jordan. Culpepper escapes the pocket and throws the ball. Is it a caught? Right on the sideline. What a catch by Mike Williams, hanging on the sideline, toe tapping, and it is called a catch.
He's got both feet down. He's got the ball in possession. The tips of his toes are right there, perfect. And I believe it was Dr. Evil in the Austin Power movies that talked about the laser. Well, that was an absolute laser by Dante Culpepper.
And a first down at the 41 of San Diego. Back to Jordan. Skids as he tries to cut back to his left, and he lost all momentum and barely gained a foot as Igor Olshansky, the 6'6", 309-pound defensive end from Oregon, there to make the play. Grew up in San Francisco, went to St. Ignatius High School, didn't play football till a junior. You know, is from the Ukraine, the first Soviet Union born to play in the NFL. He's a tough guy to move around. 2nd and 10. Culpepper and the Raiders with 1:09 to go in the half, trying to tie it up. Throw and a diving catch by the tight end Zach Miller. It's short of the first down in front of Clinton Hart.
Well, that's getting pretty close here to the target line we've established for these two kickers. About the 34-yard line. Sitting right now on the 37. It would be about a 54-yard field goal from this spot.
Janikowski has kicked one 55, not this year. 48 his longest this season.
There's no reason just to run. You've got the timeout. Try to get the first here.
On 3rd and 6. And movement on that left side as Barry Sims, the left tackle, countering with Marcus Harris.
And Barry Sims is trying to say that the Chargers drew his player off sides.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 92.
Marcus Harris moved
Moving
first.
into the neutral zone that caused the offensive false start. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
And that'll take it to 3rd and 1 as they mark off 5.
You just see the quick movement and the step here right there. That's a natural reaction by that offensive lineman.
You didn't get those calls in your day, did you? That
No,
was all on the offensive line.
They just started that a few years ago. Well inside the field goal range now. 27 seconds in a timeout, Dick. Plenty of time.
Lamont Jordan, the tailback. And Culpepper's going to go for the big one. Down the field, caught, and it is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Ronald Curry. What a throw again by the veteran Culpepper. Laid it right into the hands, the outreaching grab of Curry.
Almost overthrown. But Curry does a wonderful job of reeling it in. And a perfect execution on a tackle to save the touchdown by Quentin Jammer.
20 seconds left. The Raiders do have a timeout. 1st and goal at the 1, and after the first half dominated by the Chargers, 1 yard away from a halftime tie. Fake to Jordan. Culpepper chased out of the pocket and finally downed at the 7-yard line by Merriman. His 2nd sack of the game, and there's the final timeout used by the Raiders with 9 seconds to go in the half. Oh my.
They want a sequel.
You're looking at cornerback Quentin Jammer. Will tell you why in a moment. We want to remind you that Sprint halftime report coming up with JB, and all the guys will have the scores and highlights and the latest news from Dallas in that big game between New England and the Cowboys. Quentin Jammer's tackle at the 1-yard line of Ronald Curry, saving a tie at the moment. There's 10 seconds. They've added a couple of seconds for the official clock, so no timeouts, but Culpepper, of course, has got plenty of time to throw one in the end zone.
If it's not there, you gotta throw it away. You can't just dump it.
He's hit from behind and he fumbles, and the clock continues to run.
Fumble to San Diego's got it.
Charger, doesn't matter where the clock runs out because the Chargers have the ball. Oh, that's a tough break for the Raiders. They were just a yard away from tying it up, but Sean Phillips coming in to jar the ball free, and it looks like the biggest man on the field, Jamal Williams, isn't going to give up the pumpkin.
Well, you got Phillips coming from one side, Sean Merriman pushing in late from the other side, but it's Phillips who gets that right arm gets the ball loose, and this is the one that saved the touchdown, the tackle by Quentin Jammer. You got to give credit where credit is due. He's gotten some criticism. He didn't make the tackle against Dwayne Bowe a couple weeks ago, gave up a big touchdown, but he saved 4 points, it looked like, and it turns out he saved 7.
And Sean Phillips and Sean Merriman, the sack masters for San Diego, bring out their best here at a critical time as the Raiders were inside the 1 yard line, couldn't tie it. That's the end of the half. San Diego 14, Oakland 7. The Sprint Bowl first here to open the second half. San Diego 14-7. Both touchdowns by LaDainian Tomlinson, and really it was the defense of the San Diego Chargers that spelled the difference in that opening half.
Without a doubt, it was an offensive mistake by Phillip Rivers that gave Oakland those 7 points. The defense was dominating. LT was wonderful. But, you know, I'm going to ask a question that I think, Dick, a lot of Charger fans will play football.
Well, the defense registered 4 sacks, and 2 of them critically on that goal-to-go opportunity for Culpepper and the Raiders to tie it up. And there are the official numbers.
That gives the San Diego Chargers 18 sacks in the last 2.5 games against the Raiders.
Merriman got a couple in the opening half for 5. The sack leader a season ago was 17. That being said, although it seemed to be going all the Chargers' way, when they did not go for it 4th and about a foot, it seemed to change the momentum. Reminder, today's doubleheader brought to you in high definition on CBS, and we're set to go in the second half. Chris Carr at the receiving end. Nate Kading delivers the kick. Spins it high but short. Carr at the 10. And he spins to the 25-yard line in the arms of Cletus Gordon.
You've got to have athletic amnesia and try to forget about that right there. That's 11 plays, 75-yard drive that ended in that fumble where the ball wasn't thrown away. It was fumbled, and you didn't get any points out of that wonderful drive. Try to forget about that. Remember how you did it and put some pressure back on this Charger football team.
Culpepper was 10 for 14 in the opening half and 84 yards, sacked 4 times.
But he just cannot hold on to the ball, Dick. He's got to figure out a way to either throw it out of bounds or just get rid of it. This defense will continue to sack him if he holds it.
Lamont Jordan and a flag down, and so is Jordan after 3. Luis Castillo with the tackle.
It's going to be holding against the Raiders.
Luis Castillo, not well.
Holding inside by the umpire call.
Defense number 76. A 5-yard penalty.
Oh, Jamal Williams, a nose tackle, guilty of the hold.
Well, it can go both ways. Jamal Williams inside the nose tackle. Watch him going against Newberry. Combination block was attempted, and he takes Newberry right down as that combination block came at him. That just started being called a few years ago, but that was an excellent call by the umpire because Jamal Williams was going to make a pile, and he was going to start with Jeremy Newberry.
So 1st and 5 at the 30 for Culpepper and the Raiders. Fake to Jordan. Culpepper on the run, throws behind Curry out at the 40-yard line. And Culpepper, as he was moving to the sidelines, he was limping a bit. And here's the tight end, Zach Miller. He's down.
Somebody took a shot at him right at the end of the play. That's where the flag came in right after the contact. I mean, it was actually, I think, quite the cheap shot coming in from the outside.
There's no foul for pass interference. The contact occurred at the line of scrimmage. Pass is incomplete. Second down.
Sean Phillips still taught the young rookie tight end a lesson. He took a cheap shot on him when he wasn't looking. You can couch that any way you want, but that's one thing that, and here he is right here. Right there is Miller. And, you know, the quarterback's out of the pocket. It's not illegal contact, but the rookie just learned a valuable lesson. You know, keep your tail light burning and look out for everybody.
The old head on a swivel.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, when a defensive player takes a cheap shot, it's good aggressive football. When an offensive lineman cut blocks or a quarterback cuts the defensive lineman, that's a cheap shot.
Oh, don't be so sensitive. 2nd and 5. Jordan carries a couple of tacklers with him close down to the 34-yard line. Stephen Cooper there for the tackle. And a 3rd down.
Well, they've got him in 3rd and 6 in an obvious passing situation. Now's when the don't hold the ball too long really comes in for Lane Kiffin's quarterback, Dante Culpepper. You cannot stand back there like a statue and hold it and hold it.
Phillips coming off the left edge and Merriman off the right edge. The 2 big sack men for the Chargers to show only a 4-man rush, and now they move up Eric Weddle, and he's coming in as well. The throw is incomplete, no flag. It was Jerry Porter, the target, and Drayton Florence or Cromartie, Antonio Cromartie diving in front of him.
Now Cromartie does an excellent job of reading the route and breaking on the ball and getting better offensive position. Top of the screen, 31 is Cromartie. See him break on the ball and get position. He's not trying to bump. That's not pass interference. He's putting himself in the position to catch the ball, and he had the best position.
Leckler to punt. His average just a bit over his season average, which leads the NFL, almost 50 yards a punt. This one's a wobbler to Darren Sproles, who comes up at the 29, and his team tackled at about the 32. First there was Chris Clemens. Rivers expected to sell out as the Chargers and Raiders renew their long rivalry, each battling for a position atop the AFC West. Kansas City has won their 3-3. Rivers' first chance, second half, starts at the 32-yard line. He had a great 3rd quarter last week and almost a pick, but a catch instead to Gates, and he's down the sidelines all the way to the 40 and inside the 40. Oh, was that close to another Raider interception for a touchdown.
And it's just another example of the maturity of Antonio Gates and what he's done, because Huff almost had that ball, and it takes Morrison to come in and get this shot and wrap up the tight end.
Oh, Michael Huff was a half a step from going all the way.
What, do you give him a little LT? He had 6 carries on the first drive. He's had 7 since then.
28-yard pass play to Antonio Gates, the go-to receiver for Rivers, who was 8 for 8 in the 3rd quarter at Denver last week. Now he's 2 for 2 as he goes underneath to Tomlinson, and he has a first down at the Raider 28 on a 12-yard gain. Robert Thomas made the tackle.
I enjoy offenses when they're in sort of the mowing forward mode like this. Remember the old style of Joe Frazier where he kind of ducked his head and you're going to see nothing but forehead and fist coming at him? I love an offense that's just giving you nothing but forehead and fists and a couple of good creative plays and just keep banging at them.
You're not much for that little peck with a jab and back off? You're not going for that, huh? Linemen are all alike. Jackson to the left. And they give to Tomlinson, and that was a run blitz that was very effective for the Raiders. Tommy Kelly made the tackle. You could see someone come up from the secondary and take away any inside chance. Well, the Chargers started a fire with 2 quick touchdowns, and then the Raiders defense put a stop to that. And the big interception was more than an INT. That was a touchdown, 66 yards for Thomas Howard, that made this a ball game.
Well, not to take anything away from Oakland, they do have a good defense. This is a very talented Charger offense that should always operate on the premise that the only people that stop us is ourselves.
Tomlinson on a delay, and again he was hit by 3 Raiders, led by Thomas Howard. A gain of only 3. Now well in field goal range. A 3rd and long for Rivers.
Yeah, that's why early in that first half I was kind of surprised when they didn't go for it in that 4th and about a football, because of that whole forehead and fist thing, always moving forward, always being aggressive. I always associate Norv Turner with a very aggressive offense. Like here, this isn't a hook it up at the chains play. This is a get at least a first down play.
3rd and 7. Rivers steps away from trouble and then dumps it off to Manny Malaluna, and he's down inside the 15 for a first down. So a little check-off pass to Manu Malaluna, and the big man, 300-pound tight end, is able to carry it inside the 15.
Well, Brandon Malaluna lines up in the backfield as a fullback, does a nice job, and gives Philip Rivers somewhere to check down to. Washington does a good job of taking his legs out, but not before he can get that first down. Now keep attacking.
12
keep
yards
giving him LT.
on the catch. Only the second of the season for Manu Maliuna. And that's the big tight end in motion. And the pitch to Tomlinson. This is a play that worked last year. It works again in 2007. First time they've shown it. 3 touchdowns for LT.
Well, with that fake action going to the right, if a quarterback did this, you'd say it was a naked boot. It's just a naked LT. There's only one block on that entire play, and it's delivered by Jackson, the wide receiver, on the outside.
Oh, Tomlinson in one game with 3 touchdowns had only 2 the first 5 games, and now has moved past John Riggins, number 5 all time in rushing touchdowns with 105. The Trifers, he's over the 100-yard mark for the 8th time in 13 games against the Raiders. This is Chris Carr, former Boise State star, to the 20. Hit at the 25, fights his way across the 30-yard line. Good return by Carr, tackled by Kasim Osgood, the Pro Bowl special teamer for San Diego. But it's and now it's Culpepper and the Raiders, again trailing by 2 touchdowns, beginning from their own 32. Quick throw, complete out to Jerry Porter, and Porter then runs forward for 9. Sean Phillips, the tackler.
Just in case you thought maybe Antonio Gates was starting to slack off on you because he wasn't catching too many passes after that big long one. Well, he didn't always contribute in catching the ball away. Sometimes you can just block, as he does on Nnamdi Asomugha, to spring LT for that touchdown. But how hard is he to get once you get about 10 yards, run and start? How are you going to tackle him? Look at that.
His lower body strength. You know, he's a 220-pound man. He doesn't look it in uniform. Very thick in the thighs and legs. And so is this man, Lamont Jordan, who powers his way to a first down near midfield before Clinton Hart could come up from safety to make the hit.
Now, you've seen a nice job by the defense and a very nice job by the offense of being aggressive, attacking, getting away with that flat pass. Michael Huff, I think, might have thought he was going to jump that pass and go the other way. But now you have to be able to stop an opponent and take away hope. If you're going to be the team that won 41-3 last week, you've got to take away hope. Dominique Rhodes is in at halfback. Dick.
First time, number 33, Rhodes, one of the stars of the Super Bowl with the Colts, who has migrated to the Bay Area, and he gets the call, flag down, as he pushes forward. Look at him, that second and third effort, but I believe this one's coming back. Wilhelm and Williams made the tackle.
The way Igor Olshansky's celebrating, they were holding him.
Offense number 76. 10 yards penalty. Repeat first down.
Robert Gallery, the left guard.
All right, there's Robert Gallery at left guard right there by the check. Igor Olshansky was jumping up and down, and Robert Gallery had his hand around his waist and was going to make sure he didn't hurt himself falling down. He wanted to help him ease him to the ground. Guess they call that holding.
Olshansky, a young 25-year-old who at age 15 was so big that the high school coach thought he was a parent.
Was it the fact that he drove to practice?
Yeah, the semi. Culpepper chased out of the pocket. And the big man slides just in time in front of Wilhelm. And with that picks up some of the yardage, but with the holding penalty, plenty to go on second down.
Yeah, there was a time where Dante Culpepper would have been a definite threat to put a wiggle on and make a move. A couple of years ago around midseason, he was hurt against the Carolina Panthers, and that set his entire career on a whole different path. He was with Minnesota back then, and that sent him to Miami. That made him available as a free agent to come here on the Wednesday of the opening game.
Yeah, remember the first 4 or 5 years with the Vikings, Culpepper, he was a definite threat. Get big yardage as a runner. Second down and long. Jordan. Hit from the side by Sean Merriman, who held his ground. And that is where Merriman perhaps is at his ferocious best, driving from the side to make the tackle.
Well, when he's on the backside, at least on this play, Dick, Merriman lines up on side as a linebacker, so at least he's coming straight at you. when he gets really vicious with that size and that speed, and he can give a one-man physics lesson, is coming from the backside where he's got about a 10-15-yard running start.
Third down 13. The Raiders leading the league in rushing coming in have been held to 45 yards rushing. Culpepper. Lots of time, and he's going long, but too long, and into the arms of Cromartie. Antonio Cromartie with a pick over Jerry Porter. That was good positioning by Cromartie as he has his first NFL interception.
Introducing
with the ball, Cromartie, the #1 pick of San Diego a year ago, with his first career interception, and it's back to LaDainian Tomlinson, who gets a couple off the right side. A reminder, tomorrow on CBS, The Price is Right. It's all new and all Drew Carey hosts The Price is Right. On who wins that one. There's Dante Culpepper checking those Polaroid shots of defenses, and Jerry Porter overshot on that last attempt, but unable to play defensive back and deny Cromartie. Right back to Tomlinson, and he almost squirted free. Couldn't quite get his legs under. It got the first down, but there was much more to gain had he maintained his balance. Schweikert prevented the long run.
Two things. Watch LT come this way, and watch the right guard, Goff, move around and clear the way. Does a nice job of leading around the corner, and LT sees the defense react, watches them overreact, and Schweigert has to save things on LTD.
That sends Tomlinson to 116 yards rushing today and 3 touchdowns. Michael Turner spells him on this down from the 34. Turner, who had a big run against Denver of 74 yards for a touchdown last Sunday. Stanford Rout made the tackle.
Yeah, one of the guys up front for San Diego that you do hear some about, but is just a fun football player to watch because he's such a tough guy, is Dielman, 68, the left guard. I mean, he will knock you down, then he'll jump on you. Then the next play, he's just going to ear hole you and drill you. I mean, the reason you have success by a guy like LaDainian Tomlinson, and you have a player like Turner that can come in as a backup, is that kind of tough attitude guys up front.
He was a defensive lineman at Indiana, signed as a free agent for $7,000. It's gotten much better than that. Rivers throws underneath this to Manu Maliuna, and he's out across the 40-yard line. Just to follow up on Dielman, number 68. A bargain for the Chargers, $7,000.
You can tell he was a defensive lineman because he has that motor. And if you just concentrate on 68, he never stops. If they don't blow a whistle, he doesn't stop hitting people.
Well, they blew the whistle because there's a timeout. Take a breath, Chris Dielman. We'll be right back to San Diego. Stadium, San Diego, where the Raiders trail the Chargers 21-7. And look at that. AFC West competition. 15 straight losses by the Raiders and 22 of the last 23. The 15 straight is the longest within division play since 1970. And should they lose today, they will not be sharing that mark with others since their last win, the Super Bowl year. Michael Turner needed 2, and it doesn't appear that he got it. Well, the last win by the Raiders, 3-yard field goal attempt with 31 seconds left, 25-24. That was the last Oakland win in the division.
And Norv Turner was the head coach of the Raiders.
Wow. It's 4th down and less than a yard, and from their own half of the field.
Not for nothing, but how come LT's not in there on 3rd and 2? And it's Turner. I know he has the ability to take himself out, but can you wave him back in?
Cyphers to punt it. Chris Carr back at the 10. Carr does not call for a late fair catch, and they're going to throw a flag. But boy, that was tough on the defender for San Diego because he didn't raise his hand until about a half second to go, and Cromartie figured that he was going to run it, and that was a borderline.
Well, it was literally, he was catching the ball on the 15, and Cromartie was about the 17-yard line when he stuck his hand up quickly.
Officials discuss it, and here's the decision.
Personal foul. Interference with the maker of a fair catch.
That seems harsh. Cromartie was trying to get out of the way when at the very last minute he saw the hand in the air. Watch how tardy Carr is, but it works.
And remember, you know, this isn't real speed per se. I mean, he's really steaming.
And Cromartie tried his best with that late signal to get out of the way.
I mean, you're literally 2 or 3 yards away. But you know, Dante Culpepper says, I'll take all the yards I can get. Back those guys up defensively. Give me a little cushion.
Yeah, there's a 15-yard advance to the 31-yard line with 2:42 to go in the third quarter. And back to Jordan. And he gets nothing as the Chargers have him at the line of scrimmage. A reminder, Thursday after CSI. Since a very sluggish first quarter, the Raiders have picked up steam, and there's Matt Wilhelm with the arm of the law, that right hand to grab Jordan and drag him down by the jersey for a loss of a yard.
God, I tell you what, this defense is just attacking. Watch the middle linebacker here, Wilhelm, the inside linebacker in this 3-4. The defensive line just totally stubs the attack, and it leaves all that space for the linebackers to run through.
Only 113 yards total offense for the Raiders today. You see Jordan has been cooled as well. 424 yards coming in, over 100-yard average.
The offense is still trailing LT.
Culpepper throws into an open spot, incomplete. Mike Williams was the closest white jersey, but the ball landed 5 yards from him.
At the start of this second quarter, with about a minute and 23 second half, there's about a minute and 23 left in the third quarter. This is the kind of Charger team that these Charger fans wanted to see 2 weeks ago in the second half. I mean, they're on the offensive. They're attacking on offense. They're attacking on defense. There's no let up. Lane Kiffin's Raiders aren't really getting much of a spot to come up for air here.
Leckler to punt it to Darren Sproles. The last home game was that Kansas City game when the Chargers led 16-6 at halftime. Line drive, and Sproles with an excellent chance for a return, and he's got some daylight to the 50, still on his feet to the 45. Yeah, you don't get that elevation on the punt, and those returners with extra room will make you pay. 21 yards on the return by Sproles. Well, a reminder from San Diego, tomorrow on CBS, the dead will rise in Miami, and it's not just another. A minute 10 left in the third. Tomlinson. He runs hard, any doubt about that. And with that 8-yard gain, Tomlinson has managed his average against the Raiders over 121 a game.
That's Antonio Gates, Dick. Instead of being Lorenzo Neal, instead of a usual fullback, they line the tight end in front of him. That hurts your game, right? Well, no, it doesn't. Antonio Gates does a very nice job as a lead fullback. So he's blocking as a wide receiver. He's blocking as a fullback. He's catching as a wide receiver. And occasionally even slums it and catches as a tight end.
I think he's a valuable property as a free agent out of Kent State. That was a nice tackle, open field by Schweiger to deny Tomlinson more than his 8. And now on 2nd and 2, Robert Thomas with a tackle near a first down. And final seconds of this third quarter tick away. And for the San Diego defense, they will have gone 7 consecutive quarters, Denver and Oakland, without allowing a touchdown. End of 3, 21-7. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. A 13-yard scoring carry here in the third quarter, and he is out offense the entire Oakland Raider team through 3 quarters.
This is the same Charger team that throttled the Denver Broncos.
Michael Turner, not LT, a tailback, but it's Rivers sneaking it for the first down. 3rd and a foot. He's inside the 35-yard line. Let's go to JB for an update on that New England Cowboy game.
Hey, Dick and Randy, Dallas has made some adjustments here in the second half. Julius Jones's 2 key runs helped to set up that Romo to Patrick Creighton 8-yard strike. It is now a 3-point game. Dallas 24-21 over New England. Back to Dick and Randy.
Well, isn't it great that this early this season we have a game of such importance, and 5-0 and possibly a Super Bowl preview, at least one isn't going too far off base thinking about that. And time permitting, we'll go, all of you watching this game, to Dallas for the conclusion of that contest. Their game is behind ours by
5 or 6 minutes. So that means you're going to get not only doubleheader action today on CBS, but some bonus coverage as well.
And the best news you could get about that, if you want to see some of that, is to see these Chargers just keep slamming the ball, keep feeding them LT, keep feeding them Turner.
And it was Turner for 2 yards into the arms of safety Michael Huff. And now it's LT. Rivers going for 6 for Jackson. Intercepted in the end zone by Fabian Washington. Now they're going to say no, he did not come up with it. He came down. He was unable to hold on. Fabian Washington had that one read perfectly, played it as well as any defender can. What happened at the end?
Well, the ball has got to, when you're throwing this route, though, I mean, we've got great experts in the studio back there with Marino and Boomer and Phil Simms down in Dallas for that game. You got to throw it over the outside shoulder of your receiver, not the outside shoulder of the defensive back. You can't throw that short. That defensive back is positioned perfectly in Washington's case to intercept that.
And Jackson did a good job of riding down Washington and forcing the ball loose. He must maintain control when he hits the ground. There's the pass intended for LT. It looked as if he hit him on the back of the leg as he cut over the middle. That was much like the play against Kansas City, where LT was not looking at all, and it went for a crucial interception for the Chiefs, who went on to rally from 16-6 down to beat San Diego.
You know, on that play there was no penalty flag, but I guarantee you there should have been. Watch Goff, the right guard, working against Tommy Kelly. Tommy Kelly gets around him. Goff wraps an arm around him.
And Warren Sapp almost intercepted the ball.
It wouldn't be his first.
No, he has 4 interceptions in his illustrious 13-year career. Kading, a long field goal attempt, and it is no good. Missed to the left. 50-yard miss by Kading. It remains 21-7 here in San Diego. Market difference in the success of the two offenses. 5.9 a play for San Diego, only 2.8 on 40 plays for the Raiders. But on the missed long field goal, Oakland, great field position, begins at the 40-yard line. And a fumble, and Culpepper covers it at the 35. It'll cost the Raiders 5 yards, and I don't think he ever had the snap fully from center.
Comes up, hits into his hands, and just swings out. You know, that swinging motion, that bringing that, retracting your arms and bringing it up that the quarterback has. That ball just came spinning out of there as he brought that ball up out of the center snap.
Veteran Newberry, the center.
And remember, he just joined this team a little over 5 weeks ago.
And he's never been in a West Coast offense that young Lane Kiffin is using now with the Raiders. 2nd and 15. Lots of time. Dumps underneath to Jordan. Juggles and holds to the 43-yard line. Brandon McKinney teaming with Stephen Cooper on the tackle.
You know, Dick, one of the most intriguing things he told us yesterday was how when he first came to this offense, he practiced the play calls in the mirror because he wasn't used to all the verbiage, so he obviously wouldn't be as confident calling it. And just to be sure when he called the plays that he looked confident and it looked good in the huddle, he did it in front of a mirror.
That's right, to be forceful.
That's right.
I know what we're talking about here. Not to, I think it's
he's a method actor.
3rd down and 7. Culpepper fires to this side, complete to Porter at the 50, the 45, and a first down at the Raider 41. Eric Weddle made the tackle.
Got a flag down. Drayton Florence had every bit as good a jump as any DB's had today. He had that thing in his sights. And it got through his arms and got to Jerry Porter.
16-yard play, and Culpepper says the Raiders are going to get more on the penalty call. Let's see.
There is no foul for unnecessary roughness. The action was deemed during the time the ball was live.
And Eric Weddle, the 2nd-round draft pick from Utah, the rookie, is still down.
There's Drayton Florence inside, lining up against Mike Williams, the slot receiver. He turns his head. He sees Porter cut his route off. That ball passes right through his arms into Porter's arms.
Florence with an interception earlier in the game. Weddle was an all-purpose player at Utah. Remember, he did everything. He lined up as quarterback, running back, defensive back.
He did all the stuff that Urlacher did in college. Urlacher returned kicks.
And Brad Smith, too, now the Jets all-purpose player from Missouri. First down. Culpepper, can he get away? No. It's Sean Phillips by the jersey. Another sack. That's 5 in the game.
Against Zach Miller again. I would say it's not a great idea to let Zach Miller, a young tight end, try to block on Sean Merriman. Well, I wouldn't put him on the other Sean either. Sean Phillips has got that Cobra-like quickness. And here is Zach Miller right here, lined up as a wing in the tight end position. Just loses position, puts a little Nolan Ryan on him, a no-hitter. And all he can do is just kind of hope and be a spectator.
That's 2 sacks for Phillips, 2 for Merriman. So Phillips has the team lead 5.5 to 5 on the season. Long yardage to go. Culpepper to the sidelines, complete to Mike Williams, but short of the first down at the 45-yard line. Drayton Florence covering. And that will bring up 3rd down.
I will say this about Dante, though. His knee is better. You can tell, because that was Sean Merriman trying to get him. And he was able to, he didn't exactly sprint away, but he was able to move away enough. So this whole season is going to basically be an audition. Dante Culpepper will be a starting quarterback for somebody next year.
Meanwhile, Jamarcus Russell, the #1 player in the draft, sits on the sidelines learning from a veteran like Culpepper. 3rd and 15. That was Weddle. Safety was in on a blitz, and now Culpepper throws, and it's caught at the 30, and a first down to Justin Fargas. And Culpepper was right at the line of scrimmage when he released that ball.
Perfect job, perfect timing by Dante. The line of scrimmage was the 45-yard line. When he scrambles away from Weddle and Merriman, he is right at the line, but he's behind the line. So put that in your little cash register up top. If you're Jamarcus Russell, the young quarterback, the #1 pick in our draft, missed all of training camp, didn't even come in until after the regular season had started. They're giving him all the extra reps they can, but Lane Kiffin says, I'm not just going to throw him in.
Meanwhile, he can learn just observing Culpepper. Big first down for the Raiders to the 29, and unable to get the play off. First timeout is spent by the Raiders. Sunday in San Diego, where the Chargers lead the Raiders 21-7. 14 points early, first 2 possessions. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers scored all 3 touchdowns by LaDainian Tomlinson, and the Raider offense yet to score a point. Their touchdown came on a 66-yard interception return by Thomas Howard. This is Lamont Jordan, good friend of Sean Merriman. Merriman said, I hope he isn't hurt. I want him to play because I'd like to give him a love tap.
Well, how about that look, too, that San Diego is giving the Oakland Raiders? They're a 3-4 defense, but they're by far giving him a conventional look. They're giving him that kind of muddled thing that we see from Baltimore and so many defenses now. They're not putting Sean Merriman in a definitive place, and they're walking up Weddle at the safety, inside linebackers like Cooper.
And Merriman now drifts off the line of scrimmage. Now he moves up on the line of scrimmage. In essence, off the right end, and here he comes, and he was in the midst of the play. It's called a lateral. The Chargers have recovered. Now they're going to call it an incomplete pass. The official on the spot waving it off. Meanwhile, not to wave off anything, he's got a score for us, JB.
Dick and Randy, New England has retaken the lead. Cool hand Luke, Tom Brady, and back to Dick and Randy.
What a game, and they've got 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, so you folks, unless this one goes overtime, are going to see a lot of the finish of that Cowboy-Patriot game. Culpepper underneath, incomplete, almost caroms right to one of the blue shirts. Ronald Curry had his hands on it, and very close was Antonio Cromartie.
You know, that gives Tom Brady 20 touchdown passes here in 6 weeks, and you think of a Dante Culpepper in the role he was on, you know, back in 2003, 2004, and the number of touchdowns he was throwing when he was comfortable with that offense. He can't be that comfortable right now. He's a veteran. He's smart. It's fourth down, and you're going to need a lot of veteran savvy in fourth in this distance.
Lane Kiffin not going for a field goal. He wants a score, but this is a very critical 4th down and 7, and flags go.
Barry Sims, the left tackle, twitched.
Now that might force Kiffin's hand.
Ball starts. Offense number 76.
And now it's 4th and 12. Does he bring out Janikowski? Gallery. 76, I believe, is what our umpire Winter called.
Yeah. That offensive line has been much improved. Lined up at the left tackle. He just barely gives the slightest of twitches.
And Kiffin says, I'm not going to try to play close. I've got to get a touchdown. So what a big call. 4th and 12 at the 31. Well in Janikowski's range. Crowd alive. Culpepper needs something big. Fires wide open for the first down. Is Curry inside the 15-yard line in front of Cromartie.
For one of the first times today, Dante Culpepper was able to sit back. Lane Kiffin calls him a play, and you see him actually pat the ball. He was able to leisurely get back there, bounce, plant, pat, go, fire that thing. Very comfortable, excellent protection. Defense was zoned off, and Curry did a really nice job of getting into the right spot and receiving that ball.
Curry's 5th catch, 18 yards on the play. 21-7, plenty of time. 8:09 to go. Jordan powers his way to the 10-yard line. Sean Phillips rides him down. An impressive drive, and you've got to hand it to the 32-year-old Lane Kiffin. He went for it. He said, we've got to attack, and they came up with a big throw, needing 12 on 4th down.
Yeah, this whole season is a message not only to his team, but his fan base, to his organization. I mean, they're trying to reestablish this football team that's been a bit of a joke the last 3 or 4 years.
12th play of this drive with Curry in motion. Culpepper throws behind Curry. He was open had that ball been thrown toward the sidelines at the 5-yard line. Well, those of you who have not been with us the entire game, at the end of the first half, Curry made a fingertip catch along the sidelines. Looked as if he was going to score a touchdown at the 1, would have tied it at 14, and Quentin Jammer was able to bump him out of bounds at the 1, and the Raiders not able to get any points out of that.
Yeah, Dante Culpepper fumble sealed that at the end of the first half.
3rd and 7. Both wide receivers to the right. Jordan in the backfield with him.
2-down territory. You went for it before. I imagine you got to do it again.
Culpepper rolls, throws underneath the Curry. Curry fights his way to the 3, and he's right at the yardstick. Drayton Florence bulldogs him down. I believe he's got a first down.
Yeah, it is. Nice play call. Excellent execution. Gave Culpepper the right amount of time with a little short mini roll, and then Curry gets the first down.
6th catch for Curry, who leads the Raiders now with 22.
Just spins it out, and it's all Curry. Those last 4 yards are simply, I'm going to not let those 4 guys stop me. There were 4 Chargers right there, and he wouldn't have any of it.
Outstanding athlete, as we said, a point guard, 4 years, North Carolina's basketball team, recruited by Dean Smith. He was on the football team, quarterback 4 years, Julius Peppers, and a guy named Willie Parker, who didn't play very much, was his halfback. So they tried to find a place.
Now,
yeah. And they have figured out what a talent they have in Curry. Here's a project as a 7th rounder. You know, what are we going to do with him? You got to find a spot. Well, he's learned to be an outstanding wide receiver. 1st and goal.
As most people are these days, 3-yard line, they're in base offense.
Jordan, the deep back, and he gets the handoff, and he plows to the 1 and then pushed back. Olshansky, one of those to come up to celebrate the hit.
You know, Ted Cottrell's the defensive coordinator of these San Diego Chargers, and he's got to have faith in his 3 up front players, those guys that put their hand in the dirt. Jamal Williams, Igor Olshansky. He just has to say, my guys are better than yours, and you can't control the line of scrimmage. And Raiders back at you, much improved. It's up to that O-line to score here.
Second and goal from just outside the 1. Back to Jordan. Spins but can't get in. Looked as if he had a hold of the inside, but good defense by the rookie Brandon Seiler on the second wave, along with Carlos Holt.
This is a Pacific powder blue wall, because once he stops, it's nothing but Charger blue jerseys pushing him back. I guess that's powder blue, isn't it? Yeah, I'm kind of sort of.
Yeah. Third and goal at the 1. 16th play of this drive for the Raiders. Curry way out to the right. And now tight end Zach Miller moves to the right side. Culpepper has to scramble. In trouble. Throws it away. Did a good job, though, of not being sacked, as Merriman and Polk were on the defensive charge, chasing him wide.
And they're going for it here on 4th and 1, and that was excellent defense, and that's what he didn't do in the first half when they didn't get those points. He also, for his trouble of throwing it away, got himself a little jab to the chops.
4th and goal at the 1 as the Chargers try to muster a goal line stand that started 1st and goal at the 3. Tight formation. Jordan deep. Culpepper throws to the end zone. Touchdown. Tight end Zach Miller. Miller, who had 7 catches coming in, has just grabbed his first NFL touchdown, and he'll take that ball home.
Well, you've got to feel great for the kid. He's been put in some tough spots against some all-pro players, but Dante Culpepper, it's all set up with that wonderful fake. That pull in, give him the ball, fake it to him, pull up the linebackers, open up all that area for Zach Miller.
And what a drive. 60 plays and 60 yards and 17 plays. Janikowski adds the extra point, and it's a 21-14 game. Dante Culpepper, the first offensive touchdown of the day, and the Raiders are within 7. Rookie Zach Miller, honor student at Arizona State, their second-round draft pick, with his first NFL touchdown. But high marks for the young coach on that drive. Lane Kiffin, he went for it in field goal range on 4th and 12. 2 4th down conversions. Now it's Sproles, and he only gets to the 15-yard line. But Kiffin showing confidence in his offense and certainly building fan support. He went for it. He got the touchdown.
I used to think it didn't matter what deodorant.
Welcome back to the AFC West. Coach Noah Turner, former Raiders coach for 2 years. He said so many of the young players now starring for the Raiders are those that he helped select and has a fond feeling for, but certainly not this moment at the 15-yard line. Chargers trying to hold on. The pass is complete to Gates as Rivers trying to earn some room and keep possession with 5:05. Clock running down to the 5-minute mark remaining. Each team with 2 timeouts. The winner today, Randy Cross, will either have a share of first place, the Chargers if they should win, or the Raiders would have sole possession of first place in the young AFC West.
Well, you love that, backed up to start this drive off. Come out aggressive, come out firing, and use your best weapon as a receiver, Antonio Gates, to buy yourself a little bit of pad, give yourself some room, get out past that 20.
Now from now on, the clock will stop on out of bounds. Tomlinson gets outside, stays in bounds, and adds to his yardage. A very impressive game for the league's MVP of a year ago. He's now at 141 yards, 16 on that carry.
He's going left, and he's going to follow Lorenzo Neal behind that big left side. You've got Antonio Gates at tight end. You've got McNeil at left tackle. You have Dealman at left guard. And they just come out and give him a straight left to the face. That was just a punch.
And Tomlinson, the heady veteran he is, he could have skipped out of bounds, knew that would stop the clock. Spends another 25-30 seconds by staying in bounds. First down across the 40. Back to LT. And they're outside again. How did he get out of that skirmish? He seemed to be in the middle of the defensive pile and all of a sudden popped wide.
Well, the difference was, Dick, Oakland really did a very nice job. The defensive linemen were very offensive for Rob Ryan. They pushed into the backfield. They pushed McNeil back, Dealman back. But no one had force. No one had contain on the outside. And you've got an LT. He can go from zero to out around you in a heartbeat.
Slow start for Tomlinson on the season, but not today. 152 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns and a couple of good runs here. Now Turner gives LT a breather. First down, San Diego at the Raider 48. Raiders need a defensive play. Turner. And they tackle the ball, and he grabs it with both hands as he goes down after a 2-yard gain. LT, look at this dive, and right on the goal line he pointed the ball. Then an easy run for a score there, 27 and 13 on the straight arm and power in the third period. That touchdown is now the difference in the game.
My favorite was the first one, the rugby try, downing the ball right there past the goal line.
Talk about a nose for the goal line. The nose of the ball was right on that final stretch. Clock running, 3 minutes to go. On second down, Tomlinson back in the game, able to keep his body weight low and balanced before Michael Huff rides him down. Clock at 2:50.
Well, this is a matchup. You know, if you're in kind of like the racing form, you look for clues before a race. Well, if you're looking for clues before a game, you see LT against the Raiders. That's a good thing. That's coming into the game, not counting the 160-odd yards he has now.
Horses for courses. LT against the Raiders. As we have 2:52 left in this fourth quarter, the Chargers with the ball in a 7-point lead. Third down and 3 to go at the 42 of Oakland. Raiders spending that last time out. Tomlinson finds a hole, and he's on his way again. Is it 4 touchdowns? Oh my, yes. It's LT on the game of the season for Tomlinson. And with that, he's over 500 yards for the year.
Well, much was made, Dick, of a conversation he had with Norv Turner, and Norv said, well, you know, I probably talked to about 20 different players about the state of this football team, but LT's been frustrated. He's been generally just sort of in a sore mood, but this game will be salve for what ails him. Just what the doctor ordered for him.
198 yards worth of medicine today. Tough to swallow for the Raiders. They just couldn't stop LT. They tried to jam the middle, and he just went outside on that drive. How many times did he do just that? They were looking for him from tackle to tackle and couldn't find him.
He ran by as many guys than blocked people. They couldn't handle him.
LaDainian Tomlinson, 41 yards on that last touchdown run, his 4th score of this game, his 106th rushing touchdown in his career. Only 7 years, 106 touchdowns. Kading kicking the car. Trying to get wide, but dragged down shy of the 20, and a flag is thrown. Marlon McCree, the starting safety on the kick coverage team to make the tackle. LT with 106 touchdowns is now tied with the great Jim Brown.
Illegal block in the back, number 94, the return team. Penalized half the distance to the goal. First down.
He and Jim Brown, 106 rushing touchdowns, number 4 all time. Tonight on 60 Minutes, it's called a clean Raiders with 2:37 left and possessing only 1 timeout. Start at the 9-yard line. Culpepper shotgun. From his goal line, screen it to Jordan. 15, and bulls his way to the 20 and a first down. Sean Phillips, the tackler. Culpepper will try to hurry his team along here with only the 2-minute warning and 1 timeout to use. Needs that one big play. Incomplete. Jammer covering Porter on the sidelines.
And Jammer really taking away the whole inside. He throws that ball anywhere near Porter, and Culpepper wisely throws it out of bounds, because if he gets it near Jerry Porter, Jammer's got it for a pick.
Can't help but go back to LT because he's had such a superlative game. Only 2 touchdowns in 5 games, and then he gets 4 today and continues to just ravage the defense of the Raiders. 13 times they've played, and each time he has averaged over 120 yards rushing. 2nd and 10. Underneath, complete to the tight end, Zach Miller, and he has a first down at the 33. That takes us to the 2-minute warning. 28-14 Chargers. Welcome back to San Diego. Chargers lead by 14. Meanwhile, they're just underway 4th quarter in Dallas with the Patriots leading 31-24. So there'll be plenty of time left. We will switch you immediately. We'll go to James Brown at the conclusion of this game, and then on to Irving and Texas Stadium for the conclusion of that game. Well, there's the standings at the moment. If San Diego should hold on to the win, they move up into a tie with Kansas City. The Chiefs beating Cincinnati 3-3. Those 2 teams. Oakland would fall to 2-3 against Denver. Broncos with a bye this week.
For all the woe is me early on, when this team gets its act together, and it seems to be, it'll still be a 10-11 wins team. This is going to be a playoff football team in San Diego.
First down for Culpepper and the Raiders, and Culpepper are able to get away enough to clip it off to Jordan, and Jordan out to the 38-yard line, a gain of 8. And with 8 yards on that play, that gives 213 total yards for the Raiders. Tomlinson has 214 with his 198 rushing and 16 on pass receptions.
Hey, you know, and it hasn't just been LT, though. It would seem like it when you look at the numbers. Gates has been amazing. The offensive line's been amazing.
Another short stuff, and of course the defense giving those plays, and Jordan gets to the 50 and another first down. Eric Weddle, the rookie safety who limped off earlier, back in the game to make the tackle. 1:20 left, 1 timeout left for Oakland. And here's where Culpepper, coming in late on the season, it becomes a handicap because he's not quite as familiar with the offense and making quick calls.
But being a veteran, he knows how to run these situations.
Dumps it again to Jordan. One after another to Lamont Jordan, who's tackled in the open field at the 42-yard line, as we're down to 1:01 and the last timeout exercised by Oakland. A reminder tonight on CBS here on the West Coast, the uses to see the Cowboys and Patriots. At conclusion, you'll see the entire conclusion of that game. 7-point lead for the Patriots at the moment.
It's a real payoff for that game, too. How often do you see a, you know, however you bill it, game of the year? In college, they'll call them game of the decades or game of the century. How often is it really that kind of a game? But it seems like down there in Irving, Texas, Jim Nantz and Phil Simms have one heck of a football game going on.
It's going to be fun to join them, see how that comes out. One team goes 6-0 at the start. On 2nd and short, Culpepper steps up, throws underneath to the tight end Miller. First down at the 30, a flag down thrown by the referee behind the play. Stops the clock with 54 seconds.
On the tackle.
Holding. Offense number 65. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Left tackle Barry Sims guilty of the hold. Chargers will have their bye this week. Talking with President Dean Spanos yesterday, and he said, you know, sometimes you say, I can't wait for the bye. He says, but I'd rather wait now. I think a team is finally starting to play like we'd hoped they would.
Well, you've got some pretty hot teams, too. Houston had a bit of a hiccup today against Jacksonville, but Indianapolis, Jacksonville down the road, there are no easy layups for the rest of the way for these Chargers.
That's what you get when you have the 14-2 season that the Chargers enjoyed a year ago. That's Johnny Lee Higgins with the catch, and McCree the tackler. 40 seconds left. No timeouts in the pocket for Culpepper. Culpepper steps away and then meets resistance, and the sack is the 6th of the game for San Diego. Credited to Olshansky and Merriman. And the clock down to 16:15. It looks as if the Raiders will lose for the 16th consecutive time within the division. No one has suffered a losing streak like that against their own since 1970. And it'll be the 8th straight time they have lost to San Diego. Flag down with no timeouts, 2 seconds. They'll wind the clock, and that will mean the game is over.
Because the foul occurred with the clock running with less than 1 minute, there's a 10-second runoff associated with the play.
So the final score of San Diego 28, Oakland 14 on LT Day in San Diego with 4 touchdowns. We'll go to Dallas in a moment. First to New York.